Microsoft just connected Harvey AI directly into its global legal and compliance operations. Wall Street and legal tech blogs are calling it an unprecedented milestone in productivity. We call it a high-stakes operational experiment. The days of using AI simply to summarize PDFs or write quick emails are behind us. Enterprise AI has shifted toward autonomous execution, deploying domain-specific agents directly into your Word documents, Outlook threads, and Teams channels to draft contracts, evaluate regulatory filings, and route compliance actions without manual intervention. Microsoft's integration of Harvey AI across its corporate, external, and legal affairs divisions shows exactly where the market is headed. But here's the hard truth no vendor presentation will admit. When probabilistic models start generating legally sensitive redlines and interpreting complex regulatory mandates, a single hallucination isn't a minor glitch. It's a regulatory violation or a multi-million-dollar malpractice suit waiting to happen. Today, we are tearing down the Harvey AI rollout inside Microsoft, breaking down the operational hazards of digital legal coworkers, and outlining the non-negotiable circuit breakers required before you hand your regulatory exposure over to an autonomous model. By the end, I'll give Harvey AI a tech reality score and tell you whether your enterprise legal team can actually trust it. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Execution Over Hype. I'm your host, John Turns. Slapping the label AI legal assistant on a workflow is simple. But what happens when an autonomous agent operating inside your corporate communications waives attorney-client privilege or misses an aggressive liability cap in a critical vendor agreement? Our objective here isn't to admire sleek user interfaces or celebrate vendor announcements. It's to map out the rugged, battle-tested architecture you need to stop autonomous legal tools from turning into corporate liability. To grasp the true risk profile here, you have to look at how Harvey AI actually functions inside Microsoft's legal stack. This isn't a standalone chatbot running in an isolated browser window. It is a specialized, domain-trained, agentic framework integrated into Microsoft 365, Copilot, and Teams. Consider how corporate legal work usually moves. A contract arrives, a paralegal reviews the terms, an associate cross-references company precedent, a partner evaluates the risk allocation, messages fly back and forth, context breaks down, and progress slows. Harvey is engineered to collapse these friction points. It scans incoming communications, queries internal SharePoint repositories for historical contract language, generates redlines, and prepares compliance drafts straight inside Word. Automation routes files, legal agents interpret intent. And that is precisely where an enterprise starts taking on hidden risk. When you accelerate document production by 10x, you inevitably accelerate human rubber stamping. If a junior attorney spends 30 seconds scanning a 30-page agent-generated markup, genuine human oversight vanishes. Who takes responsibility when the agent subtly misconstrues an antitrust decree or hallucinates a non-compete boundary? In high-stakes legal compliance, a 95% accuracy rate is a complete failure. Removing friction from legal drafting dramatically elevates your governance obligations. If you allow agents to query corporate data vaults without strict boundaries, you don't have innovation, you have structural legal exposure and cross-matter data leakages. The strategy for navigating this environment requires what we call a legal circuit breaker architecture. This is a rigid framework designed to isolate context, constrain agent authority, and log every model decision deterministically. 3 critical boundaries make up this architecture. Tenant and privilege isolation. Every legal agent must be strictly bound by context permissions. If an agent accesses prior work product via retrieval engines, it must be mathematically blocked from pulling confidential terms from one matter to resolve a query in another. Unchecked context retrieval leads directly to an unintended waiver of privilege. The drafting versus execution boundary. An agent can be permitted to draft a contract revision or summarize a regulatory memo. It must never possess the permission to issue that revision as a binding legal representation to an external party. System rights must control action, not just view access. Lastly, deterministic auditability. Every prompt, context retrieval, and model edit requires an immutable record. If a legal dispute arises 3 years from now, you must be capable of proving to an insurance carrier or a court exactly how that document was generated and reviewed. We are shifting from software failures to agentic liabilities. A broken database script causes operational downtime. An unmonitored legal agent triggers a regulatory investigation. Before we grade Harvey AI and put this setup on the board, take a quick second. If you're finding value in these raw operational teardowns, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Our mission is straightforward. Give you the grounded architecture you need to protect your core operations before complex tech creates costly problems. Now it's time for the tech reality score. We're stripping away the corporate PR and evaluating the true enterprise readiness of Harvey AI and its Microsoft integration. The vendor pitch sounds game-changing. Legal teams drafting agreements in seconds and running compliance audits effortlessly. But leadership teams can't manage hype, they manage risk. Does this architecture provide controlled, defensible execution, or is it just an expensive way to accelerate legal oversight errors? Let's look at the scores. Ease of use, 9 out of 10. Back directly into Office 365 and Copilot, the user experience is fluid for legal professionals. However, low friction frequently breeds low oversight. Functionality, 8 out of 10. For routine contract reviews, standard non-disclosure agreements, and precedent comparison, it performs remarkably well. It is less reliable when dealing with high ambiguity custom deal structures. Integrations, 9 out of 10. Within the Microsoft ecosystem, the integration is exceptional. Document flow between Word, Teams, and SharePoint is clean, though connecting to non-Microsoft legal management systems requires extra heavy lifting. Value for cost, 7 out of 10. The time savings on baseline drafting are real, but high enterprise licensing costs combined with necessary human auditing overhead compress the total financial return. Scalability, 6 out of 10. Technically, it scales across thousands of seats instantly. Operationally, however, managing permission scopes, privilege boundaries, and hallucination audits at scale remains a significant challenge. That brings us to a final score of 39 out of 50. Our final verdict, enterprise ready with strict circuit breakers. Harvey AI demonstrates that automated legal drafting is becoming an operational standard, but you have to treat an AI agent like a fast, brilliant, unvetted junior associate. Probabilistic software doesn't carry malpractice insurance, and vendor disclaimers won't protect you in court when an auto-generated redline waives your indemnity. If your system architecture doesn't enforce a hard human-gated air gap before an output becomes binding, you haven't modernized your legal desk, you've just accelerated your exposure. The key takeaway is clear. Microsoft's deployment of Harvey AI marks a permanent shift in how legal work gets done. We are moving from manual drafting to model-assisted execution, and from simple lookup tools to autonomous workflow routing. For executive leadership, the task is clear. Do not wait for an unmonitored agent to make a high-stakes mistake before establishing hard architectural controls. At Seisan, we skip the flashy demo reels. We engineer the hard infrastructure, governance systems, and deterministic circuit breakers that turn autonomous agents into reliable, risk-controlled business assets. Visit Seisan.com/delta-shield today to secure your operations before autonomous workflows outpace your oversight. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and forward this video to your legal team or operational leadership. Let's start getting serious about the real risks of autonomous AI. Until next time, I'm John, out.